Hello and welcome to Prime Studio, where we share different story from various aspects of life. Let's hear this one. Daniel Carter was born into a deeply religious family in a small town in Texas. His father, a pastor, and his mother, a devoted church volunteer, ensured that faith was the foundation of his upbringing. From an early age, Daniel attended Sunday school, led prayers at the dinner table, and participated in youth ministry. For most of his life, Daniel never questioned his faith. The Bible was the ultimate truth, and God was an undeniable presence in his world. He found comfort in prayer and a sense of purpose in his church community. His beliefs guided his actions, shaping his understanding of morality, love, and justice. Daniel's first seeds of doubt were sown in college. Enrolling at a liberal arts university, he found himself exposed to a variety of perspectives: scientific, philosophical, and historical. He befriended students from different religious backgrounds and even some who didn't believe in God at all. A philosophy professor introduced Daniel to the writings of Bertrand Russell, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Richard Dawkins. Reading their arguments, he began to wonder, could faith be questioned? Could morality exist without God? Were his beliefs based on evidence or tradition? Despite these questions, Daniel remained steadfast. He convinced himself that doubt was merely a test of faith, something he had to overcome. But the questions continued to pile up, nagging at the edges of his mind. As Daniel delved deeper into history, he began to see contradictions in religious texts. Stories in the Bible that he had once accepted without question now seemed troubling, particularly those involving violence, divine punishment, and contradictions between scripture and science. The breaking point came during a heated debate with a classmate, Emily, an outspoken atheist. She challenged him on the problem of evil. If God is all-powerful and all-loving, why does he allow suffering? Daniel struggled to answer. The explanations he had always relied on, free will, divine testing, mysterious ways, suddenly felt inadequate. That night he prayed harder than ever, begging for clarity. But the silence that followed was deafening. As time passed, Daniel became increasingly uncomfortable in church. The hymns felt hollow, the sermons repetitive. When he voiced his concerns to his pastor father, he was met with disappointment and caution. Faith isn't about proof, son, his father said. It's about trust. But Daniel no longer wanted to trust blindly. He wanted to know. He began reading more about atheism, watching debates and engaging in discussions online. Slowly, his faith unraveled. What he had once feared, the idea that there was no God, began to feel like a liberation rather than a loss. Without religious constraints, he saw morality as a human construct, one that could exist based on empathy and reason rather than divine command. The realization was exhilarating but terrifying. If there was no God, then life was finite and death was final. The idea of living without the promise of heaven was daunting, but it also made every moment more precious. Coming out as an atheist to his family was one of the hardest things Daniel had ever done. His mother wept, his father was silent for a long time, and his siblings looked at him as though he had betrayed them. "We raised you better than this," his father finally said. Friends from church distanced themselves, some trying to reconvert him, others simply fading away. He felt alone in a way he never had before. But Daniel found a new community, one of skeptics, scientists, and free thinkers. He started a blog, sharing his journey, and connected with others who had gone through similar struggles. Slowly, he rebuilt his sense of belonging. Years later, Daniel became a science educator and writer, dedicated to promoting critical thinking and secular ethics. He found purpose not in serving a deity, but in helping people understand the world through reason and evidence. Though he still loved his family, the divide between them remained. His mother prayed for his soul. His father hoped he would come back to God. But Daniel had made peace with his path. He had traded certainty for curiosity, faith for reason, and in doing so, he had found a new kind of freedom. Not a freedom from responsibility or morality, but a freedom to seek the truth wherever it led. And for Daniel, that was enough.